Welcome back to the channel for a review of Port Vale against AFC Wimbledon, just gone on Saturday, where it ended up AFC Wimbledon won, Port Vale won. And I suppose it was written in the stars that Anton Ackford was going to come back and haunt us, which he did. But we helped him along the way with our defending. So, yeah. So what did we think? Well, let's have a look at the stats. We had more possession. We had 54.3 compared to 45.7% that Wimbledon had. We had more shots. We had 16 shots compared to Wimbledon's 7. But like usual, our shooting's atrocious. We only had 3 on target. And even though Wimbledon only had 7 in total shots, they had 4 on target. So let's talk about Darren Moore to start off with. Well, I've been banging on this channel. Play the right system. If he's going to play 5-3-2, don't have your 3 midfield players playing across the middle, flat. Have 2 sitters, 1 behind the front 2. But he couldn't quite bring himself to do it Saturday, could he? He couldn't quite bring himself to do it. So we had the 5, we had the 3 like usual, sitting flat. Then George Hall just behind Devante Cole. Ludicrous. Absolute ludicrous. For one, the size of that pitch is like a postage stamp. If he wanted to play his flat 3, which is the wrong way of going at it, but if he wanted to do it, it wasn't a pitch for wing-backs, it's too small. He should have gone with a flat back 4. He could have played his 3, all 3 sitting in the middle. And then he could have had 2 up front instead of 1. And he could have had George Hall just behind the 2. It would have been perfect. You're not going to get in behind us on that pitch. But no. He puts Devante Cole really on his own up front. Madness. And when you look at the substitutes, Rhys Walters can't get in. Funso Ojo, where's Funso go? He's put the best performances of any midfielder we've got this season. Bombed out. So obviously Darren Moore's man management isn't up to scratch somewhere. Because he's bombed out for a reason. It can't be his ability. But management is about picking the best team, picking the best tactics, and picking your best players. And Darren Moore isn't doing that. So it's another 2 points lost. They were awful. If we'd have got the right system, the right players on that pitch, we could have steamrolled them. They were awful. So another 2 points dropped. And it's all right, everybody saying, oh yeah, but we played well. Yeah, we played well against Stevenage. We lost. We've played well in the majority of the games. But we haven't won very many. And it's all right, I keep saying, oh yeah, but we're playing well. We're 12 games in now. We've played that well. We're 12 games in. We've got 13 points. Teams below us have got a game in hand. And we're only 2 points from being in the bottom 4. And like I keep saying, I'm banging on again on this channel. If you'd have played over the games, the right team, the right system, the right tactics, I reckon we'd be another 6 points better off. But no. Fine margins in this league are going to cost us. Unless he learns quickly. What is the point of playing the 3 midfield flat? Ben Garrity is being played out of position by doing that. Nobody can say he's at his best. Because he's not. He's playing in his proper position. If it's not going to be George Hall, it should be Ben Garrity behind the front two. That way you see the best of Ben Garrity. Ben Garrity being played as he is at the moment, he looks like a League Two player. Doesn't affect the game at all. Funzo Ojo and Reece Walters are better players in the position that Darren Moore has got Ben Garrity playing. Both of them are. So if he's going to play that three like he does, he needs to play either Funzo Ojo or Reece Walters instead of Ben Garrity. I've got no problems with Ben Garrity playing as long as he's played in his proper position, which is behind the front two. But Darren Moore, for some peculiar reason, doesn't do that. So anyway, Darren Moore. What do we give him? We give him a 4. Again, another game where we should have won, but we don't. But we played well. Oh, we played well. Yeah, we keep playing well, but we don't win. So we move on. So let's go through the team. Ben Amos in goal. Crikey. He is what he is on the tin, and he like last season. He's nowhere near as good as Gouchy. He was a class goalkeeper. Makes everything look simple. Commands his area. Amos, he did one brilliant save for Omar Bogle. The one that was looping over him, changed direction and got it out. But apart from that, wow. He come flapping when Mo Farley did it off the line later on. Doesn't command his area. And his kicking was all over the place like usual. So Amos gets a 6. Jordan Gabriel on the right-hand side. Well, wasn't a pitch for wing-backs. Too narrow, too tight. But he did well. Really unfortunate at the end. When I don't think his injury came from going into the boards. I think if you look back on it, it was like a block tackle. Their guy came across him just as he was about to shoot. It's a brilliant tackle, but I think it was a block tackle. So I think he probably done his tendons in his ankle there. It looked a nasty one, that did. But other than that, he was industrious, Gabriel was. And I give him a 6. Jesse Deborah, he moved from the centre of the back three to the right-hand side of the back three. And he's playing well at the moment, Jesse is. The past few games, he's looked composed. He's cut out the mistakes. He's not overplaying the ball, which he can't do. He's giving it to people who can pass it. And I thought he was decent. Out of the back three, he was the best one on Saturday. He was decent. So I'll give Deborah a 7. Middle of the back three, Ben Hennigan. Wow, we're a different side when Cameron Humphreys is not in it, aren't we? At the back. Whew. I thought Ben Hennigan looked every minute a League Two centre-half. His fault for the goal. Flapped at it from the throw. Awful. Generally, his distribution was terrible. He won his fair share of headers, fair enough. But they aren't really a big side. You'd expect him to. But we've got to have better than that if we're going to do anything in this league. In pre-season, we should have signed another centre-half because Darren Moore, who loving to set up defensively, is missing another class centre-half because Ben Hennigan's not the answer. I thought he was awful. Ben Hennigan gets a 4. Connor Hall. Recently, Connor Hall's been playing well. It looks like he made the step up. Yesterday, he was dodgy. Again, he was partly contributing to their goal. Hennigan fluffed it. All them fluffed it. And generally, he looked a bit rushed, but he's bound to on that pitch, on that narrow pitch, but he looked a bit rushed. Made amends a little bit with the goal. Thought he did well. Didn't panic when the guy fell over. But other than that, didn't do a lot. He gets a 5. Ronan Curtis. I thought Ronan Curtis did well. Seen as though that Simway, who's on their right-hand side, their wing-back, he's classy, he is. He was good at Walsall last season. Shame we didn't go in for him. Especially now when we're literally out of wing-backs. But he was class. And he's giving him a bit of a run around, Ronan Curtis. But I thought he was up and down well. And for not being in his natural position, I thought Ronan Curtis did well. Some of his delivery was good. Bit dodgy on some of his corners. But he flattered to deceive a little bit. But generally, he was decent, for which I give him a 7. So let's move on to the flat midfield 3. George Byers. Well, George Byers is playing well. You can't say he's not. He's playing well because how Darren Moore sets up suits him down to the ground. He can just keep passing it sideways, backwards, go collect it, place it sideways, pass it backwards. So it looks like he's doing something, but there wasn't one ball on Saturday, meaningful ball, defence-splitting ball that he made. He was brilliant in sideways, backwards, sideways, which he does. But he did it well. So he gets a 7. Ben Garrity. In that position, shouldn't be in the side. In the position Darren Moore's playing him, he shouldn't be in the side. Reece Walters, Funzo Ojo, better players in that position. Behind the front 2, he should be in the side. But again, the header first half, how many chances has Ben Garrity had? That he looks like a Sunday League player. Don't think he scored a goal since Milton Keynes Dons at home last season. Doesn't look like scoring. He's having chance after chance. That header, it was a back pass. I thought he was terrible. Just industrious, that's all. But that's not his position. He's bound to be like that because that isn't his natural position, or his best position, shall we say. So Garrity gets a 5. Ryan Crowsdale. Ryan Crowsdale did what Ryan Crowsdale does. I thought he was decent. Kept the ball a lot better. Passing was a lot better. Perfect game for him on that small pitch, ratting around. So Ryan Crowsdale gets a 6. And he was replaced. The only substitute who had any real minutes was Jayden Stockley. And Jayden Stockley should have been on from the start. He should have been Cole and Stockley up front on that tight pitch. He's got history there as well. He likes the ground. When he came on, it was a different dynamic. Great header for the goal. And he was an handful. And if we'd have played him and Cole up from the start, we'd have won that game. But no. No, we've got to sit in. So I'll give Stockley, I'll give him a 6. Coming on as substitute. So George Hall. Seeing as though George Hall, he was in no man's land. He was trying his best to support Cole. He's trying his best to play in between the midfield and Cole. He was in no man's land. But you can tell he's got the talent. Why not play him behind the front 2? With his pace, how dynamic he is. He'd be brilliant. You can't play him like that. In a non-entity position, which is neither behind the front 2 or behind the front 1, supporting the front 1. Bonkers. But he did well. And for that, he gets a 7. Now, onto the main man again, eh? King Cole. Scores goals. That's all you want. We don't play to his strengths. If we had another forward up front with him, we had Rory Payton with him. There's somebody bombing on just behind the front 2. He'd score at full. He's got that bit of pace about him. Class. Absolute class. He showed his quality again on Saturday. I thought for the goal, if you watch the goal, he's on the move again. As soon as Stockley's headed, he's thinking, where's that going to drop if he saves it? He's the first one to move to it. Brilliant. Poacher, proper striker, proper poacher's goal. For me, he's my man of the match. He was on his own up front. That isn't Devante Cole. But he put his shift in running. He held the ball up well. So yeah, he was my man of the match. He gets an 8. So we move on then. We move on to Wigan away on Saturday. Which that'll be another interesting game. But thanks very much for watching. Thanks very much for listening. And most importantly, up the Vale.